back from Fear the Walking Dead. This is episode 13, I think, of season 5. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next as we, get into the final kind of quarter of the season, which is kind of nuts. And yeah, I'm intrigued as to what's going to happen next. They seem to be focusing on like different sets of characters every episode, so who are we going to focus on this time? But I really did enjoy the last episode quite a lot. I loved the introduction of Rabbi Jacob. I think he was a really cool character, so I hope he sticks around for quite a while. And they did like some interesting stuff with Charlie, things like that. Sarah, I adored in that as well, her relationship with Dwight. And yeah, there is some interesting stuff going on. There's also Logan. I just don't care. Ugh. I can't wait for Morgan to like shove a stick through his face or something, I don't know. But yeah, they ended it with, I'm assuming like they found like the oil or gas, whatever the fuck they're looking for. I'm not quite invested in that plot. But obviously they've made some kind of discovery, probably using the tapes. That's how the last episode ended, so maybe they're going to explore that a bit, and I'd like to see them kind of build up Logan a bit more as a villain, and, well, all of those people really, because all they do is annoy me. And I'd like to actually kind of be like, oh yeah, okay, they're kind of a threat. So we'll see what happens with that. I'd love some focus on Morgan and Grace again, because I'm obsessed. And yeah, I'm just excited to see where they're going to take in the final 4 episodes of this season. So yeah, let's just see what happens next and get right into it.
To whom do I have the pleasure?
Serena.
Is this a flashback?
Okay, Serena.
I'm not going to hold.
Of course.
Wait. Serena! Serena!
Nice knowing you, Serena.
Serena!
She made a tasty snack. Say Red Dead Redemption once.
Our condolences.
Is that the neighbour from Jessica Jones?
And you are.
The worst carousel I've ever seen. Oh good, they've remembered that these two are in the show. Oh shit.
Sarah, is that you?
It's definitely not.
Get him set. Now. Go.
What are you gonna do? Stand there and gawp?
Might want to rub the smoke from your eyes, Steve. I ain't your sister.
Don't take another step.
Ugh. Blow his face off.
Firing weapons.
Meanwhile,
Wes didn't want to help before. Why would he possibly want it now?
he saw the tree.
Anybody there? No, stop!
Sit
Oh, fuck off.
Why are you doing this?
I already told
He's
Morgan.
terrible.
No.
Yes.
Some fellas will do anything to avoid asking for directions.
Lucky you checked that one first, eh?
But the one thing I can't abide with is that I killed polar bear for nothing. You I can live with.
Yes!
Let's go.
I love her so much.
Someone's come to assist with the cook.
About that, motherfucker. Yes.
You may be a good shot. This is one you're not going to take.
Please did God take it.
What I did to Clayton got him killed. That's something I gotta live with. Something I regret every day.
Aww.
The moment I saw him in my rear view.
You don't want to live with this on your conscience.
I just don't want him to live, to be
You want me to
honest.
be reasonable? I'll be reasonable.
What a surprise.
The inevitable.
We're on our way. Just do what you
I can see how this is like paralleling the story at the start with Logan, but come on.
Use your help out out here.
You think they would have found this sooner, like, without the need of any maps and tapes and videos and shit. Like, all the steam and smoke fucking pouring out into the sky. Like, that whole pile right there should say, we are fucking here.
He wasn't answering, so I went out there myself.
Oh. Did he not answer because they'd nicked his van?
I'm doing what I'm doing because of you. So you really want to help?
Oh boy.
You guys have to get out of there. Now.
Oh shit. Whee!
You gotta kill the fire.
Oh yeah?
I can't.
She told you that fucking hours ago, love.
Guys, we can't take them out. You have to clear out of there.
Oh yeah, you told them that it was daylight and they didn't listen, so...
We got a problem.
We also have a gun.
You've got many. Got to hand it to Logan, he is incredibly capable at coming up with shit plan after shit plan. I am enjoying seeing it all fall apart for him. Sees him in the rear view. She's gonna help. You shouldn't, but she's going to. Look how much she's changed. I love her.
What's going on?
I don't love how they spent the entire season building up Logan and he's just been incredibly shit. If she dies, I'm gonna be fucking furious. That was a Wilhelm scream.
You should have left me out there.
She should have, yeah.
She said you could help me.
You know this girl?
Oh.
No. It's the song I sung before.
What a coincidence. Oh. Yes!
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is all very cheery. It is cool seeing that the other side of it though, like a reason why maybe they shouldn't help people. Or at least not give them hope. Well. That's one less mouth to feed.
Name's Wes.
Oh!
I heard Alicia on the walkie. She helped me. Figured I should pay it forward.
Well, shit. How about that? Now shut your mouth, Logan.
What happened to people are people?
Sometimes they're not. And
Oh,
I wasn't gonna just.
Well, whoever these people are, you're with us now. They're not gonna bother you anymore. Let's go.
I have a feeling they're going to bother you.
Her I recognize from the movie. Yeah, not so much.
They're the people we helped.
Yeah, look, all two of them.
Put the guns down, Doris. You heard me. It's enough of this horse shit already.
You said we were gonna take it all.
Yeah, I did say that.
Holy shit.
I thought we needed to.
You said this would be the ticket to the promised land.
Alright, calm down. That was a very dramatic thing to say.
Down.
Fucking hell, I'm actually developing him as a character. What the fuck?
But it's not gonna snuff out what he was trying to build. What we were both trying to build.
What the... Heckins? Oh, is it... Cowgirl lady? Holy fuck, as if they've actually just killed him off. I wanna be a cowboy, baby.
We think there's a way we can all help each other.
Uh-huh.
If your wife is still alive, we can help you find her. In June,
Oh boy. I don't trust this
we can help you
bitch.
find that.
You can take that offer and shove it straight up your poop chute.
Sarah.
She's right.
Just need Morgan to appear now. Like, his stick just goes straight through her skull.
Give them a tanker full of gas.
We can do that.
Use it. Find that place everyone needs.
I think they were going to.
At the rate we're expanding, you won't have a hard time finding us.
Can I get Logan back? There they all go, to get more screen time than Luciana. Nothing changes. Okay, pretty solid episode overall, I think. I did enjoy it, and it does kind of set up, I think, an interesting new direction for the last couple of episodes of the season, given the fact that we have like a new villain, I guess she's a villain. So we'll see where they go with that. But we also kind of need to pick back up with Morgan and Grace and all of them, because it's been a few episodes, I think, since we've seen them. So I imagine they'll have to make an appearance soon. Yeah. Logan. As soon as they start developing him, actually giving him like some character traits to shoot him in the head. It's a very Walking Dead thing to do, I guess. It was nice to get some flashbacks with him, and see that the moment he kind of really turned, and obviously that was the moment he kind of bumped into that Ginny woman as well. So seeing a bit more about that was cool, and actually see him go through a character arc, which was a nice change. His first and only character arc, really. When, you know, we saw he developed this really like pessimistic view on life, and leaving like the gun with one bullet in for that woman to kill herself with. And then ultimately she was saved because of, you know, the methods of the group that, you know, Logan didn't approve of and thought they were wrong to do, and then he kind of came round on that idea just in time to get his brains blown out. So there was that. But still, it was nice to see a change in Logan's character, you know, however brief. Some development was given to him. But yeah, as a villain, I was just like... So I wasn't actually expecting him to die until the finale, so this is kind of a nice surprise. But you know, I think the actor did a good job of me like really hating the guy. I think a lot of that did come down to the actor, because I don't think he was particularly well written as a villain. So I have no qualms with him. But yeah, just as a character and a villain, they just did not do enough with Logan. If they like kept developing him like the first half of the season, fine. But I feel like he was in like episode 1, maybe episode 2, and then I think he was in the mid-season finale. I think he wasn't really in like most of the first half of the season. So if they actually spent that developing him a bit more, so we actually got to know him before he turned like really villainous, maybe he would have been a bit more effective as a villain. But he was just kind of, whenever he, you know, those scenes kind of turned up this half of the season, it's just kind of really slowed the episodes down a bit. Because we knew that Morgan wasn't actually going to kill him, even though he mentioned his wife and son. We knew John Doyle wasn't actually going to shoot him in this one. You know, there wasn't a lot of tension there. Because it's just like the main cast tend to survive in season 5. So there's not a lot of tension really running throughout the season in that respect. But I am very glad that we've gotten rid of Logan, at least, you know, because that does show a development in the story, I guess. They're not dragging that whole thing out until the finale, which is good. And, you know, we saw that Logan's working for some higher up people, and there's potential there with them to potentially, you know, be a decent villain. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, how much can they do with them when there's only 3 episodes after the season? I don't know. But at the same time, I probably would still prefer having a villain introduced at like the 11th hour like this, as opposed to them just dragging out the Logan thing for the rest of the season, because, you know, that was a paper thin plot as it was. So we'll see what happened to that, but I am kind of glad that Logan and all those people are dead. Because as a villain, he just wasn't that interesting to me. But I did appreciate that they tried to do something with him in this episode, but it was too little too late, because this was the episode they killed him off in anyway. But still, I mean, it was nice getting some flashbacks and a bit of development for him before he went. And then with Ginny, cowgirl lady, reminded me a lot of like the cowboy people in season 9 of Walking Dead. Maybe that's just the thing they're doing. I'll see what happens with her. Again, I'm not like completely in awe of her right from the off. So we'll see what they do with her in that little group. Or maybe not a little group. We're rapidly expanding! We'll see what they do with them in the last few episodes of the season. There's potential there, I think, for them to be an interesting kind of threat, but again, I didn't really feel the tension when they were like, well, you're not of any use to me, and then got all her people to point the guns at everyone. Because we know they're not going to kill off the, like, 85% of the main cast in one go like that. So we knew something wasn't, you know, it was going to go down that way. So again, there was no tension with them as like villains in that respect. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the season. But I wanted to give them a shot. You know, we don't know enough about them yet, I don't think, to see exactly what she's about and why Ginny ended up the way she has and stuff like that. So we'll see. So yeah, we'll see what happens with them. But I'm not like, oh yeah, they're the best villains ever. They made such a great first impression. But I'm also not like completely writing them off. So we'll see what happens with them. It was cool to kind of see Luciana and Wendell again. We haven't seen them in ages, and the kids, well, the three main kids really, because the rest of the kids, fuck knows where they are. And like working on like making the oil and the gas and all that kind of stuff. Seeing that process was kind of interesting for a bit. I'm scared what they're going to do now with having Luciana just separated from everyone else. Is that they're going to focus on everyone else again and completely neglect Luciana and not give her like an episode to herself. I'd like an episode with just Luciana and Ginny, getting to know them a bit better maybe. But again, there's only 3 episodes after the season, so maybe they couldn't have done that. I feel like they had this idea for Ginny and everyone like halfway through production, and they'd already started the Logan thing, so they just had to run with that and then change it. Because this has the potential, I think, to be a lot more interesting. So we'll see what happens. But I hope having Luciana like, be isolated from everyone else doesn't mean they're going to ignore her. I hope it means that she'll actually get a story to herself, which she hasn't really gotten in, let's be honest, seasons. So really have kind of ignored her quite a bit, and hopefully this is a chance for her to get like a story or an episode to herself, because I think she deserves it. She's been around since season 2, you know. They just don't do anything with her nowadays, so that's kind of sad. So hopefully that's going to be like a turning point there, and we'll actually get some good content from her. But yeah, Wendell was cool. I liked what they did with him and Sarah in this episode. I love those two, particularly Sarah. I think Sarah's probably actually my favourite now. Now I don't have Nick around. As much as I love like Alicia and Strand and stuff, I feel like Sarah's very quickly kind of rose to the top of the list of my favourites. I love that they both, you know, both of them feel that regret over their actions, and we've had time to kind of see them live those regrets and change and develop over time, which is something they did not do with Logan until the episode they killed him off in. I think Sarah and Wendell's story and their character arc so far is what Logan's could and should have been, but they just didn't develop him. So never mind. But yeah, it was nice seeing those characters again, particularly Wendell, because I don't think he's been around a lot in this second half of the season. We haven't really seen him, so it's cool seeing him kind of pop up again. Hope we get a bit more of him before the season's done. I've been seeing those kids again as well. I don't think we've seen them so far in the second half. But it's nice that they found a place and they're getting on with things. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I did really enjoy what they're doing with like Sarah and Wendell's regret, and the fact that Sarah kind of went back and saved Logan. I mean, I wish she hadn't, because Logan sucks. But it just shows how far she's grown and how far she's come, because she saw, you know, she was talking about seeing Poe the Bear in the rearview mirror. She was driving away after nicking the rig. And that was paralleled again here, and she actually took the chance. So it shows how much she's kind of changed. I like that. The parallels between Logan's story in the flashbacks at the start with Alicia and Strand trying to save that girl. Stuff like that I think worked quite well. But in terms of like Logan and those villains, it was a bit too little too late for me. Speaking of Alicia and Strand, Alicia's still painting. Great. And I liked that they kind of did develop that a bit, in that it seemed that was the turning point for Wes. He saw that tree and maybe that allowed him to want to help again, and he saw that people aren't just people. So yeah, that was kind of cool, the fact that he kind of came back and helped that woman in the end, because he overheard it, and overheard Alicia and Strand trying to help. So it's nice that he kind of had that change of heart as well. He's kind of had some development there. Again, he's been in like, what, 3-4 episodes at most, and he's already had more of a character arc than Logan ever did. I know I keep going back to that, I should just move on, but it just shows that they really waste things, and Logan was a bit of a damp squib in the end of it. So yeah, I liked Wes coming back and potentially like, joining the group now. That's pretty cool. Because I did like him as a character anyway. I was quite interested in him. But I was interested in him because he was quite a fresh perspective that he had, of that he just killed people. He was kind of going against the main thing of the group, but now he seems to have come round to that. So maybe it will go downhill. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with him. But I am glad that we're seeing more of him anyway. And getting some development in that story. And Alicia Strand desperately trying to help was a cool parallel to Logan's story. And then yeah, John and June helped out a bit when they could. So it was nice seeing them pop up. And obviously Dwight as well. I liked that he managed to get one over on that guy he let live before. That was nice. It's kind of like a punch the air moment for Dwight, because he kind of deserved a win over that guy, because that guy sucked. So I'm glad they kind of got that. And yeah, it was nice just have briefly seen like Jacob and Tess, just these people that they've helped. More to kind of hammer home the point to Logan about that sometimes, you know, their method of like saving people has worked. But it was nice with Logan that they presented some kind of arguments for why maybe they shouldn't give people that hope if they can't get them in time. Because, you know, if it hadn't been for Wes, that woman would have died, and Alicia Strand would have been way too late. So, you know, I like that they kind of present the other side, but now it seems like they just keep on going with the whole, let's just save everyone and not kill people, which isn't quite the right thing I think they should go for. But still, we'll see if that changes in, you know, with the rest of the season. Maybe Ginny will kind of force them to accept that maybe they just need to kill people sometimes and not help. And yeah, Sarah was just the absolute star for me. I loved the actress, and I love her arc so far, her and Wendell's arc. And, you know, she always has so many funny lines. I love her, like she wants to live with this regret, and she's just owning that in everything she does. I think that's fantastic. So yeah, I've been praying for Logan's death for so long, now it's actually here. I'm like, well damn, here we go. I thought I was going to be celebrating that in a couple of weeks' time, not this early in the season, so I'm kind of glad. But we'll see what happens with this Ginny lady, where they go with that. But yeah, overall, pretty solid episode. I don't think it's one of my absolute favourites of the season. But nonetheless, I am looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this kind of newish direction. Now we have Ginny being introduced and stuff, and where that could lead for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens. But yeah, a solid episode. Bye, Logan. Bye-bye. And until next time, thanks for watching.